You know what the difference is between a food diet and a mental diet? Is that with a mental diet, the results are going to show right away. You're not going to have to wait. You change how you think now, you're going to change how you feel right now. And that affects everything around you right fucking now. Hi guys, welcome to my second YouTube video, I guess. Thanks for being patient with me. I've been a bit late. I wanted to post this much earlier, but yeah, I'm figuring a lot of YouTube stuff out. But just so you know, the frequency of this channel is going to be organic. What does that mean? It's going to be 100% natural. I'm never going to push myself to create content just for the sake of creating content. I'm only going to do it if I truly believe I have something valuable to bring into the conversation. So that means that anytime I put something out, you know that you need to watch it. Okay?
Alrighty then.
So are you ready to learn how to apply the mental diet concept in your own lives? Are you ready to learn how to make a mental diet which is specific to a particular goal in order for you to, create what you want in life? Because today is the day. Today, I'm going to walk you through my exact process, what I do to create a mental diet specific to a particular goal of mine, and how I apply that in my life. Okay? Disclaimer, if you hear any background noises, it's just my cat. She's a little bit I think she's too excited today. I don't know, maybe it's a good sign. This is the day that you actually make the video happen, Maria. She's celebrating me. Thank you, babes. Anyways, let's get started. Before we go into the 3 steps, I want to give you a quick refresher. Let's do a short recap for those of you that might have missed my previous video. No, I'm not judging. Okay. What is a mental diet? A mental diet is the practice of catching and rejecting negative thoughts. To go on a mental diet means to take charge of what you think about, okay? Just like you do with your food diet. If you want to be healthy, you stop eating unhealthy and you start training. Same goes with your mental diet. You stop eating, entertaining unhealthy thoughts, and you start exercising your muscle to focus on the positive. The more you train yourself to do that, the more you change your life. Why is this important? Why are we here talking about it? Because, if our thoughts create our reality, and with the right mental diet in place, we can control those thoughts, then basically a mental diet is a tool you can use to create any reality you want, and then, just live in it forever. And another reminder, there's 2 ways I want you to think of mental diet. Number 1, you already have a mental diet in place, whether you realize it or not. And that mental diet consists of your habitual thinking patterns and what you currently tend to make out of situations. The only reason you're not aware of it is just because you've been doing it your entire life and you're sort of on autopilot. And the second way to think of mental diet is that you can go on a specific mental diet to achieve a specific something. You set an objective and you build your mental diet around it to make it happen. If you want to know how, stay with me, because this is exactly what we're going to be discussing in this video. I'm going to walk you through my 3-step process. It's a very simple process, but powerful, on how you can basically think of any goal you have and then break it down into an actionable mental diet plan, meal plan, mental food plan. This can get really weird, so I'm going to stop right here. Before I walk you through the 3 steps of the process, I want to talk about something that's really going to help you, look at the whole game differently. And that is that when you first start practicing a mental diet, I don't know if any of you have tried already to apply anything I've said in my previous video. I hope you did. If you did, let me know. Anyways, the first thing you're going to discover is that in the beginning, you might not believe that it's actually you who's choosing the thoughts you entertain. Because what happens is that just sometimes you do nothing and then you have a thought that pops up out of nowhere and you're like, what the fuck? Why? And you think that it's just thoughts come to you. It's true that thoughts just come to us, but do you know where we lose it? Do you know where we go wrong? We think we are our thoughts. So when we get those random weird thoughts out of nowhere, we identify with them And we interpret them as these thoughts have something to say about who we are. And that's just not true. That's absolutely not true. We think we are our minds, but we're not. And it totally makes sense because, they're right here. They're really close to our core, our center, and they're also quite loud. Like, they're in our ears all day long, even at night. Can't tell you how many discussions I have with myself in my sleep. Like, whoa. But they're like, "Bah, bah, 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 bah." But it's not us. There's a discussion. Like, if you really start to pay attention, there's you, and then there's the voice in your head. There's two different things, and I'm not gonna try to explain too much about this because I don't really know. I haven't figured out where, my consciousness ends and the mind begins or whatever. The thing that I want you to understand here is that you are not your mind. And if you have trouble believing or seeing where your mind ends and where you begin, let me ask you this. What is a thought? Have you ever thought about that? A thought is the outcome of thinking. Surprise. Let's take it to the next step, right? What is thinking? Thinking is a cognitive process. So is speaking, so is learning, so is remembering, so is feeling. There's tons of them. The point I'm trying to make here is thinking is nothing but one of the brain's many functions. So if thinking is nothing but one of the brain's many functions, how come we believe we are our thoughts? Explain this to me, because it doesn't make any sense. And the thing that I'm trying to stretch here is that if you're going to practice a mental diet, the first thing you need to do is learn how your mind works, because that's the only way you're going to be able to control it, and you're going to be able to tell it what it needs to do and then make it work for you instead of you being its slave. You cannot continue living your life and try to go on a mental diet, think of the thoughts you want to think without understanding how the brain works. I'm gonna say it again. It's just incredible that they don't teach this in schools. Like, okay, we do biology, anatomy. Okay, this is the body, this is the human body. You have a brain. You want to know how it works? No. That's not important. You have it, okay? Next. Once you start understanding how your brain works, you'll be better at studying it, at being an observer, and not judging yourself for the weird thoughts that you might have. Sometimes we all, like, messed up thoughts, we all have them, guys. They don't have to mean anything. It's just a weird combination of data. Our minds are like processors. They just use data, input, output. They're machines. So sometimes they will produce like nonsensical outcomes. They don't have to mean anything. They don't have to be like, they're not an indicator of who you are as a person. They say nothing about your personality, your values. There's so much more to you than just the weird combination of like data. Okay, so when you start understanding this and you stop identifying with your mind, you can really become an observer and really learn how your mind works. And why is this important? Because that's how you're going to get to identify all the damaging thinking patterns that you've developed through the years. Because this is like non-negotiable. You need to do it if you're going to go on a mental diet. Otherwise, you're always going to be a victim. You're always going to fall into the traps that your mind sets up for you. By identifying all the thinking patterns you've developed throughout the years, you can begin to take charge of what you do next. If you have no idea what these patterns are, you better start paying attention, because our thoughts create our reality. And if you've never tried to, be aware of your own thoughts, it means you're creating your life with the eyes shut. And that's just, it's a shame. It's a shame. Just don't do that. You have the power to choose. You have the power to understand how to take charge of your mind. and create the thoughts you want to think that help you in life instead of being obstacles for you and dragging you down. So the more you break your identification with your mind, the more you're going to be able to detach from the negative thoughts that come up. The more you listen without judging, the better you'll become at catching the negative ones and just kicking them out, because they won't mean anything. You know they're not you and you're not them. So when you catch them, you just see them and then say, bye bye. You know, that's it. And sometimes people think that, they struggle a lot with controlling these negative thoughts, and they're like, but how can I ignore something like this? This thing happened and it makes me experience all these things. I can't really control my thoughts. This is why understanding and recognizing the power you have over your thoughts is important. Because once you do that, you catch whatever is going on, you see the negative thoughts that is trying to create in you, and you just kick them out, and they don't have to mean anything. And sometimes I have situations where in my personal life, I've been a bit like, shit happens. And then I'm like, who cares? It's not that I don't care. It's just that I know if I can't do anything about a particular situation, there's no point in me being affected by it. It's like I have nothing to win other than maybe getting really creative and writing sad poems, but it's not going to improve my life quality in any sort of way. So when I know that this is a lost case, I cannot do anything to change the situation, I just let it go. I just don't care.
How can you not care? Like this.
Okay, so if you're gonna go on a mental diet and be successful with it, this is what you need to do. You need to practice listening without judging and becoming an observer to your own thoughts. That's the only way you're gonna catch the unwanted ones and let them go without, no damage whatsoever. Just happy. Okay, so now that we've cleared that up, let's go through the 3 steps of going on a goal-based mental diet. All right, guys. What is the first step? Step number 1 is to find your goal, select a goal. We gotta start doing things right. So if you're gonna go on a goal-based diet, the first thing you need to do is to have a clear, specific objective that you want to achieve. It needs to be something that you care about. It needs to be something that is really going to motivate you to take charge of your thoughts. If it's something that is not, that important to you, you're never going to commit to the practice of thought control. It's a hard one. So you need the motivation. You need to have a strong why. Okay? It can be anything. It can be, getting fit, having the best body you've ever had. It can be meeting someone new, developing new friendships, finding a new job, creating more money for yourself. It can also be something very simple, feeling more love in your day-to-day life, or, decreasing the stress you feel because of work. It can be anything. A mental diet can help you achieve anything. So the first thing I want you to do is to find your goal, write it down. You need to write it down. I'm going to be stressing all the freaking time how important writing things down is. Because if you only think of something and you never externalize it, chances are it's never going to become real. By writing things down on paper, you take them out of your head and into the real world. You give them life. You create them in the 3D. So it's really important that you write things down. Okay? Don't trust your mind. Don't think that you're going to remember, because you won't. Reminder, we have 60,000 thoughts per day. How do you expect to remember? There's no way. You're going to walk outside the house 3 seconds later, something's going to happen, and you're going to forget everything. And 24 hours later, you're going to forget you ever watched that video that introduced you to that concept. And you're going to forget me. And it's just, no, okay? Write things down. Step number 2 is to create your mental diet for your goal. I've moved. So if I look different on camera, it's because I am in a different place, but I just need all the space I can get for this step. And yeah, I should have thought of this earlier, but as I was saying, I'm still figuring YouTube out. So, no judging, okay? I'm here to help you. I'm on your side, okay? Anyways, so in step number 2, you're gonna go and create your specific mental diet plan to achieve your objective. And how are you gonna do that? You're going to create 2 lists, 2 thought collections. On one hand, you're gonna have all the thoughts that help you achieve your goal. You're gonna write down all of the things that make you believe that your goal is achievable, is realistic, that you're getting there, that is gonna happen so fast, and that is gonna change your life, okay? This is gonna be the good list, the goody. I don't know what names to give it anymore. These are gonna be your assets, okay? These are the asset thoughts. They're gonna work for you. On the other hand, you will create a list that is the trash. This is the garbage list. All the thoughts that get in your way. All the thoughts that make you think that your goal is never gonna happen, that is unrealistic, that the world sucks, and that, everything is against you, whatever nonsense you're telling yourself right now. Okay? So you're gonna create these 2 lists. I don't know how weird this will look on camera, but I'm getting excited. Okay. The assets and the trash. Assets, trash. I think I like this. I think the names are working. Okay? You have these 2 lists. You start filling them up. Again, write things down on paper. Don't do it in your head. You will forget. Don't overestimate yourself. Don't think that you're going to remember stuff because you won't. And I know that from experience. The minute I started writing things down, my life changed. Write things down, create your lists, put them on paper. This won't happen overnight. It's not like you're gonna sit down for half an hour and think of all the positive things you can have and all the negative things you can. No, it's gonna take a lot more time, but that's okay. You just need to get started and then you fill them up as you go. Here's an example of how you will use the 2 lists. Let's say your goal is to become the strongest, most fit version of yourself you've ever been. You've never had abs in your life and now you want a 6-pack, okay? What are you gonna do? If you think about how knowledgeable your trainer is, how amazing your gym is, how you have all the equipment you might need, how you can cook amazing meals for yourself, and that you know how to nourish your body with all the right foods, and you have access to amazing ingredients, and you prioritize good sleeping and all the nice things about making your goal happen, then these are all thoughts that can go in your assets, because they're all thoughts that make you think, I'm getting there. I can almost sense the 6-pack. Like I touch my stomach here and I can feel it. If on the other hand, you begin to entertain thoughts you catch yourself entertaining thoughts I've never really been good at sports. Since primary school, I sucked. I used to be like the bad sports guy in my team. Or being overweight runs in the family. Who am I kidding? Like my DNA will only allow me to go as far. Like I can train as much as I want, but I'm just not someone who has abs. Or I have hormonal issues. Doesn't matter how hard I try. There's always going to be something getting in my way. These are all thoughts that belong here. These are trash. You don't need them. You're going to add them on the list, because what happens is that when there's moments of doubt, or there's like struggle in you going to the gym or committing to your practice or choosing the right food over having, a cheat or whatever, these 2 lists are going to help you remember why you're doing what you're doing. And they're also going to be, your guidelines. When you catch yourself thinking about something on this side, you know that it's not worth your time and you reject it, because what you want is the goal of getting fit. Okay? This is all that matters. Nothing else matters. This is your goal. This is all that matters. And these are your guidelines. This is a yes, this is a no. That's how you have to think about it. And that's how you keep living your life, and then you're guided by these principles. Does that make sense? I think it does, right? Like for me, it worked. I'm trying to simplify it as much as I can, but if you have a better way to do it, if you come up with, I don't know, better names, for example, like, yeah, let me know, because yeah, this is just the beginning. We can advance this mental dieting game, and you know, we lift each other up. We all help each other achieve our goals. How cool would that be? A little thing that you need to be aware of here in this step is that when you fill your yes lists, your assets, it's going to be quite easy and fun. Again, you can reimagine, recreate anything you want in life, and to do that, you can be inspired, you know, from other people, from movies, from books, from whatever you want. So you can create new beliefs about yourself, and just write those kind of thoughts down and realize, okay, I need to entertain more of these. These are fun. These are good. But when it comes to creating this list, the trashy one, which is, you know, the risk zone, when you're creating this one, it's going to be a bit more demanding, because this is where all the practice I was mentioning earlier comes in, all the listening without judging comes in. This needs to be based on your own limitations. It needs to include your damaging thought patterns, because you can very much, for example, if your goal is to create more money, you know very well not to listen to the news. Like listening to the news about how bad the economy is and thinking about, you know, crappy economy predictions goes on this side. But you also need to be very mindful of your own limiting beliefs on the topic of money. For example, if you say, yeah, I don't come from a rich family, and people who are not rich cannot become rich. It's not as easy. It's easier for those that already have money to make more money. If you have these sort of core beliefs in your head and you tend to think like this, these are the ones that are holding you back the most. And these are the ones you need to add and highlight here. Okay? It's not rocket science. You just have to practice catching your thoughts. You have to practice. You have to listen. What I was saying earlier, to stop identifying with your mind and to catch as many as you can. You gotta catch them all, okay? I can't stop making references, and I hope it doesn't like ruin the video, but I'm loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba. You see? You see this? Okay. And we've reached step number 3, which is to put your mental diet into practice. You guessed it. It's time to put what you've created into practice. It's time to go get it. So what you're going to do is you're going to practice day after day to entertain more of these thoughts and to reject these, to catch them and get rid of them. And it's going to be triggering at first. It's going to be tiring. Catching negative thinking patterns and replacing them takes a lot of mental energy. But the more you do it, the easier it'll become. And before you know it, it'll become second nature to you. That's the goal of your mental diet. If you strengthen the right thinking patterns, the ones that support your goals instead of getting in the way, there's no way you won't achieve them. There's no way you will let anything get in your way. There's no way. And the thing here is that to get there, what you need to do is that anytime something on this list enters your awareness, you ignore it, you reject it, you just push it back out. No, I'm not going to think about you. No. This is not about denying reality, by the way, huh? Because I know most people, the facts are the facts. How, if I learn something negative, what am I going to do? Ignore it? It's still true. Who the fuck cares about what's true and what's not? Everything is changing. Always. Always in life, there's nothing that cannot change. So by not paying attention to the things you don't want to think about, it's not that you're denying reality, it's just that you know that this is not going to help you do what you want to do. And at the end of the day, what's most important to you is not what others are doing, is what you want to do. So you're going to think about everything that helps you do this. Other people can't have their reality. I don't care. Okay, this is the whole point here. And if you still, like, if you don't understand how someone can be so detached and so strict with their mental diet, think of it a little bit like this. Let's say that you're a vegan, okay? You're a vegan. You go to have dinner at a friend's place and they serve you a big fat juicy steak. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna eat it? Or are you gonna get mad that they served you that? A steak is just not part of your diet. You're a vegan, for fuck's sake, So you won't touch it. You feel disgusted at the idea of touching that thing. So that's what you need to do with the mental side of things too. Whenever you catch something on this side, you get annoyed that this thing is even trying to mess with you, is even trying to get in the way of you reaching your goal. No, I'm not gonna, no. What the, no.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
It has nothing to do with denying reality. The facts are always going to be the facts, and the facts are always going to be changing. So instead of being a victim to the facts, you decide to be the one who changes them. Here's an example. Let's say you and your friend are both trying to get a new job, and your friend is desperate, has been trying a little bit more than you have, and they're so pessimistic about the whole thing. They're complaining. Whenever you're together, they spend the entire time complaining about how there are no good job opportunities anymore, the market is shrinking, and there's no way you're ever going to get more money than the shitty job you're trying to get out of right now. And you need that job, and you should remain a slave, whatever. Okay? That's not the way you're going to find a job. If you have your mental diet in place, all these things belong on this side. And with your plan, you're going to know, you're going to be aware when that person opens their mouth, it's like red, the alarm, boo, 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 boo. No. What you're going to do is of course I'm going to get a new job. I'm extremely smart. I have excellent education. I have a lot of experience. I can build relationships with people really fast. I can win anyone over. Yeah, maybe the market is shrinking, but who cares? I'm still gonna get my dream job. You know what's gonna happen? If there's one job, you're gonna be the one who gets it. The whole market could be shrinking. There's only one job opening. That's the only way you can go get it. And that's what makes people lucky in life, You can be the lucky one. This is how you're gonna do it. By entertaining everything that serves your purpose and ignoring everything else. Fuck reality. Who cares? Let's change it. Okay. I got a little bit too intense, but I just really want you to know, just wake up. Wake up. That's it. These are the 3 steps to creating a specific mental diet around your goal. In this video, I'm giving you everything that you need to get started right after you finish watching this video. Don't leave now, okay? Don't get too excited. Because I'm super cool and super awesome, I want to give you a few tips that are gonna prepare you in the right way. There's some things that you need to be aware of once you begin practicing. And the first one is that you will be triggered so much by so many things, and actually be prepared to start seeing new triggers. You might see people acting up. You might get unfortunate situations showing up, things breaking down or whatever. Those are all good signs. Don't take them to mean that, you should stay stuck. They are good signs that you're shaking things up. You're changing things. And when you change things, that creates new forces. It's physics, guys. I'm not saying anything extraordinary here. It's just physics, the balances between objects, people, things. they get disturbed by you changing. So there's going to be things that try to counterbalance the effect you're creating, because a body at rest wants to stay at rest. So don't be intimidated by those triggers. Welcome them, because it means that what you're doing is working. These are the first signs that you're about to get results. And another nice thing about triggers is that you can also use them as reference points. You can look back and recognize the progress you've made. You can compare and say, yo, I used to be like that. That's what I like. That's how I used to think. That's how I used to operate. That's the kind of life I used to live. And look at me now. I never thought I could be doing these things, and here I am doing it. Yeah, it's been hard, but I would never, ever, ever, ever go back to that. Okay, this might have been a bit too personal and based on my own experience, but maybe all of it is. Okay. Number 2, you will begin to feel more tired. As I was saying earlier, catching your thoughts and practicing mind control requires a lot of mental energy. So you might catch yourself feeling more tired or more sleepy, or, but the thing I want you to aim for here is the good sort of tired. Remember when you were a kid and you spent the entire day playing outside, and then, you just went home and passed out on the couch? Like, yo, let someone else worry about getting me to my bed. I'm happy. I'm just gonna drop here. And then you would magically wake up in your bed the next morning. That's the kind of tired we're talking about here. If you catch yourself feeling drained, exhausted, powerless, that means you're not practicing. And you actually need to be more strict with your mental diet, because it means you're still allowing other people define how you think and how you feel. Okay? And number 3 is that you might have to say goodbye to things that are dear to you. Things, people, situations, habits, whatever. And this is all part of the process. As you know, change takes, space, because you need space. You need the old to fall apart for the new to be able to come in. And yeah, that will sometimes mean that you have to lose. You never lose people. Please be aware, you never lose people. The people that love you will always love you. And if it's, true love, and I don't mean romantic love, I mean, human connection, that never goes away. Guys, I'm an expat. I have some friends back home. I don't talk to them for like 6, 8 months, 10 months. And then when I go home, I just call them and we meet. It's been a year I haven't seen them. And every time we meet, it's like I saw them yesterday. That's a true connection. That's pure love with people. That's when you think of someone, they immediately reach out, because your path to them is unobstructed. There's nothing in the way. So know that if there's things that might begin to shift, you don't have to lose people. It's just a change. And it might make you feel a bit sad at first, and it's normal. But it's all about habits. And the thing is that you cannot allow old habits get in the way, because you could be doing all the mental effort you want to change your thinking mind. If you keep spending your time in the same ways, with the same people, discussing the same things, it's going to be so hard. And you're probably not going to see many results. Another tip here is to maybe not tell anyone about your mental diet. Just keep it to yourself. Do your thing. Optimize your communication, connection, interactions with people, and just stick to it in your head with yourself. Keep it to yourself. Because if people don't understand it, they are likely to discourage it. That's what we always do. We're afraid of what is unknown to us, right? So don't share it, because you cannot risk anyone compromising your efforts or making you doubt about them, about your choices. Don't share it, and the people that want to know more about it will come to you eventually, because what you're going to do is you're going to focus on your mental diet on your own, and then the results are just going to show. There's just going to be a difference in your life. You'll look different, you'll appear different, you'll feel different, so people will react to you different. And then the ones that really care about you and give you the space to grow in your own way will want to know how you did it. But unless they do, you cannot, like, the trap is that we tend to get excited about things, and then we want the people we care about to follow us. But people can't really be on the same page as you unless they're ready. You cannot force anyone. So give people the space they need, but do not compromise what you set out to do for yourself. Respect each other. Don't judge them. Don't judge yourself. Give yourself what you need to succeed, and allow other people to, do their thing. And if they want to know more, if they're ready, if whatever, if you manage to inspire them in some way, you bet they're gonna come to you. You won't have to try. And it's a very rewarding feeling, because once that happens, it's like, yeah, finally, I can finally share with you what I've been doing and what is making me so happy, because I want you to be happy too, because that's what this whole thing comes down to. We want to learn how to be better so that we can help each other out. And by helping each other out, we'll lift each other up, and we all rise together. And it's going to be like, did Maria do drugs before doing this video? No, this is how I think. And this is like, I mean it. It's enough with the, selfish stuff. Enough. No one benefits from it, and it doesn't make people happy. Okay? So the sooner we understand that we can lift each other up, and that lifting each other up actually helps us lift ourselves, the better. Okay, I'm not gonna go any deeper into this in this video, because I'm really afraid it's gonna be an hour-long video. And because you've made it this far in my video, I have one last thing for you. It's a bonus. I know how hard sticking to your mental diet is. Mind control is, it's not easy, guys. It's amazing, but it's not easy. It takes a lot of practice. And because when I say that I want to help you achieve things, and that I'm only going to make content if I really feel like I have something to add to the discussion, I'm going to be sharing with you my personal sort of note-taking system when it comes to my mental diet. It's a sort of mental diet template, if you will. I don't really have a name for it. So yeah, I'll share that with you for free. I'm going to put a link somewhere here. You can download it and just get to work. Because I know that staying on track and sticking to your mental diet when things get triggering and people and situations just won't leave you alone, these can serve as something that, you can always refer to. You can always go back to these notes. It doesn't take any effort to fill them in. It's all things that, you have everything you need to make it happen. I'm just giving you the tools here. You fill that in, you print it out, you do whatever you want with it, you take it with you wherever you go. I can't tell you how many times I would travel, I would go on a trip, and I had my little notes with me. Go to bed at night, before I sleep, I read them, I respond to them, I can reflect on those points, and I remind myself, and I drift off to sleep in peace. The next morning, before I face the threat of the outside world, I do the same thing. I prepare myself mentally, I put myself in the right mindset, and then I step outside the door, and anything that comes is just like, have you seen The Matrix? Just try. Just give it a try. I've put in a lot of work to try and make this as compact, as complete as possible, so you can just watch the video and then put it to practice. Just give it a try. If you do, please let me know. I'd love to hear some stories. And yeah, that's it. I'm gonna stop it right here because this is getting out of hand. I need to control myself. Okay.